So we have two general classifications. We have a substance that is classified as a living thing or non-living. Okay, so the reason in which or how we work out which is living and which is non-living is dependent on characteristics. And there are 7 characteristics of living things. Firstly, we have nutrition, we have respiration, we have excretion, growth, reproduction, movement, and response. You need to know those, so a lot of keywords here, and you need to know what they are. Reproduction is the way we get and use food. Respiration is the release of energy from that food. And we'll be looking at that in a little bit more detail. It forms a full chapter, photosynthesis and respiration. Excretion then is the process of getting rid of wastes. Okay, that happens really through 3 ways: urine, sweating, and breathing. Okay, we have growth then, and that is when cells divide, and when they divide, they split from 1 into 2, and again and again and again, and they continue to divide, and when they divide, they end up growing, which allows us to grow. Reproduction then, in order to make sure your species survive, you have to be able to produce new individuals. So it is to produce new living things. Okay, if I couldn't reproduce, my species would die out. Movement then, and in general, animals move using their whole body. So the main ways is they swim, crawl, run, or fly. Obviously, plants themselves, a lot of trees and flowers are tucked into the ground, so they don't actually move position. But they can still move, okay? So parts of their body move. And for examples, there would be petals opening and closing. You'd also have buds, they open and close as well, okay? You have things inside in leaves called stomata, and they can open and close, and again we'll be looking at that in a bit more detail. The final thing then is response, and this is the way living things react to changes in their environment. And it's very important that living things can do that. For example, when we're cold, we shiver, okay? That allows us to heat up. And when we're too warm, we sweat, and that actually cools us down. So they are all responses depending on the temperature of our environment. And all animals, plants, and living things can respond.